That is this year's Black Snake, brought to you by the YT Mobs, Oisin O'Callaghan. Joining me in the booth ahead of this one, Nico Mullally, and that looked absolutely at its scariest.
Yeah, they made a lot of new changes to the track this year. It follows a similar route, but with some new modifications, and it even makes where it rejoins the old track ride differently. So all the riders have a lot to figure out on the track this weekend.
And let's check out today's start list then. For the junior women's race, Indy Diavol will get us underway. Then it's Marlena Rieger. Lena Frenner, already a race winner in 2025, is in there. Matilda Melton. Husselbosch has won here before. Rosa Zerl will be the last rider down the hill, the young Austrian, after qualifying yesterday. But here we go. Diavol leaves the Star Hut then and gets us underway in Val di Sole, Trentino. Nico, talk us down the top, slightly changed top section on this track.
Yeah, you come out of the start gate and it's got some of this machine-built berms. It's pretty, we'll say, mellow for the first 30 seconds of the race. Riders can get into the flow of things. And then once they hit this switchback where she is now and do this plunge, they're straight into the next 3 minutes of some of the roughest track we'll see all year.
Yeah, it's really whenever it hits the tree line, isn't it? Things get really, really serious.
You can see the contrast here. She's right into it.
Diavol into the dust then, and you can see it's just absolutely battered this place, and maybe the best of the light conditions for the junior women this morning. It's not got too bright up there yet, and that's one of the really difficult things here in Val di Sole, isn't it?
Yeah, one of the hardest things is you go in and out of the trees. It's this thick pine forest. The shadows are really dark, and there's holes and rocks and roots underneath this dirt. You can see here how soft it is. You can hardly see them already, so when there's shadows on top of it, it's really tough for the riders.
It's getting absolutely blown apart, and look how deep it is through there, the dust. Diavol.
Sometimes you don't want to see. It might put you off.
I know, it's absolutely brutal, isn't it? We walked it the other night after practice, and it's strange, you know, the person walking in front of you, they kick up roost, never mind a rider on a full-size downhill bike. But Diavol looking good through there, and speed picks up again through this section.
So this spot, this bridge at the split here, is one of the only places you have to rest. You might see some riders shake out their hands or catch a breath right there before they're straight back into it.
Yeah, out into the open briefly. This junior women category, it's really come alive in 2025 so far, and at round 4, we've seen different winners at each round. Can we get our first repeat winner of the year?
Yeah, Indy appears to be riding really well here. The category as a whole has been so competitive this year. We've, as you said, had so many different winners, and just coming into the season, factory teams picking up a contender for a win in the junior women's category. We see 5 or 6 possible winners, so it's been really exciting to watch.
And they'll all have been buoyed as well, I guess, by seeing the success of Gracie Hemstreet in the elites.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they see a pathway. They see the inspiration from someone like Gracie doing that, and they're going to follow in her footsteps.
Diavol.
Pretty good drone operating through the trees there.
Oh, man, yeah, I do not fancy it one bit, but the speed has been slightly lowered by these slightly tweaked sections, hasn't it? It's rewarding accuracy this year, Val di Sole, perhaps more than ever.
Yeah, I think the riders really like the way the track's laid out this year. Past couple races have the speeds have increased, so we've seen lines being straightened up, and it just creates a new challenge when it's that fast. Here, they've maintained the corners, so we have not an increase in speed, but a lot of new sections, a lot of new natural terrain for them to figure out. So I think the riders appreciate the layout of the course this weekend.
Diavol just hopping across the rider's right. You can see just that big Duffy hole.
And some of them, the dust sits, it's so soft, you can't see how deep it is. It's almost like a puddle of dust. And when you hit it with your wheel, you go deeper than you expect.
It's a really, really strange phenomenon, and it's one of those ones that you kind of need to experience it here to understand it, that, as you say, there can just be a massive wheel-sized hole that, until you're, inches away from it, it just looks like it's completely flat, smooth, and it's just that silt is settled in it.
Yeah, it is. It's an interesting phenomenon you don't experience a lot in mountain biking. You wouldn't have this in a bike park. We have this many bikes going this pace on the race line through a natural section like this that just destroys it.
And here comes the Avol then back out into the open. First time we are seeing it. And there's that famous Sam Hill corner, writ large into the sports history back in 2008. One off, if not the all-time great race runs on this very hillside. Diavol then will give us our first benchmark time of the day. Down the line, crosses it. Indy Diavol, a 4:36.997. Good time from Diavol through there as we head back to the top for Marlene Rieger. Rieger, the German.
I've seen her on track riding a bespoke bike. Personally, that's a soft spot for me. It's cool to see small brands out there putting a bike in the World Cup.
It's a really unique looking bike, isn't it?
Really cool.
You can interpret the word unique however you want it. Oh, Rieger just goes down. That left-hander just catching her out. Let's look through it again. Nico, tell us about it.
It's just a soft rut here. She's coming in quick, and she pushes the front over the corner. Yeah, it looks like she stuffed the front wheel. It kind of like pushed and then caught. Yeah, it's going to be, we might see a few of these today, unfortunately.
It is going to be one of those days. Yep, and that is just another example of ruts and holes filling with silt. Lena Frenner then. Got a win earlier in the season for Norco Race Division. There first in Ludenviel. Really, really highly rated youngster, but you can just see that first corner, Nico's getting really battered.
Yeah, I'm impressed watching how strong she is on the bike. Like the junior women and men practice together, and she often looks like one of the junior men the way she's riding with the aggression and the strength. So that'll pay off on a course like this.
Yeah, really aggressive position on the bike, but Frenner just slides out. And again, I mean, you just look how loose that corner is. This one's going to be tricky to balance. I mean, it's always tricky to balance here, of course, but just it is so beaten up out there. Gianna Neff then for Switzerland leaves the start hop.
Yeah, this one's, it's so tough physically. There really isn't many pedal strokes you're taking on the track, and a lot of times people at home might associate pedaling, sprinting with physical. This is one of the steeper tracks. It's all gravity oriented, but it's so rough on the hands and the upper body and the braking to try to ride through all these deep holes that I think we're seeing crashes because the riders are pretty fatigued on their full runs.
She's 6 seconds faster at split 4 now, Neff, on that time of Diavol.
It's a good feeling when you cross this last jump. You almost feel like you're home free.
Oh, goes deep off that, Neff. Really, really good riding. But I always think as you look at the top of that jump, your hands must be absolutely blown apart. The last thing you need is a 25-meter plunge.
Landing it is a good feeling.
Yeah, Gianna Neff over the line then. Goes fastest by 7.5 seconds. In the lead of the race then for the Swiss rider in Italy. As we head back to the top, Matilda Melton.
Matilda's had a really good start to the season. She had a podium this year, building off everything she learned last year, her first year in the junior category. And I've been really impressed by the improvement she's made from last year to this one. I think maybe some of the pressure from all the fast young riders coming into the category has risen her game. And she's showed up and she stood on the podium.
5.8 seconds faster, Melton. She was third at round 1, looking like she's going to go better here today, the US national champion. As she heads out into the open and heads for the line, Melton on that Commensal bike for Commensal Les Ors. Let's find out what the new hot seat time is going to be. Melton goes fastest by 5.285 seconds. Big, big run from Melton. Here we go, Eliana Husselbosch for the Santa Cruz Syndicate.
This will be a run to watch. She's been so aggressive in practice. She won this race last year with the fastest time of any woman on the day. And it just seems like she came here this weekend. She felt comfortable on the track, and she's risen her level from the first 2 races this year.
It was really the statement ride, wasn't it? You know, she was in and amongst it before that, but...
She looks like she might have some dirt on her.
Let's have a look. Yeah, 13.1 seconds back. You're right, Hawkeye. Husselbosch has been down somewhere. She was faster at split 2, excuse me. Not going to be her day today. So Melton is going to survive one of the pre-race favourites here.
Yeah, and bummer to see that. She needed a little bit of momentum going her way today, but that's downhill racing for you.
Yeah, it's such a cruel, cruel sport.
The one good result makes up for a bunch of these, though, I'll tell you. It keeps you coming back.
Husselbosch died over the line for the Santa Cruz Syndicate then. Goes into third, 11.4 seconds back. So she did pull some time back there.
That's a hard thing to pull time back once you've already been down.
Yeah, it will come for Eliana. You get that feeling. She's just going through a rough period at the minute. Alifa Osgaard for the Canyon Collective then was up at the splits at the last round in Leogang before a crash in that right-hand berm took her out. So another rider kind of on the cusp at the minute.
Yeah, she came in with high expectations. She won a few of the U.S. races early season against all the elite women, so this is a really good run from her.
She's faster by 4.7 seconds as she heads down the line. Osgaard, 7.8 fastest then, into the lead. Replaces her compatriot on the hot seat. Osgaard into the lead of the race as we head back to the top for Bella Birchall from New Zealand now, leaving the Star Hop for Team High Country. Big run that from Alifa Osgaard. We didn't get to see a whole lot of it as we caught up with the live, but she has been one of those riders, hasn't she, Osgaard, where you get the feeling that the big race runs are in there. She just needs to put them together.
Oh, absolutely. And I think this might have been one of them today.
Bella Birchall then, 3.8 seconds back at the first split. So Osgaard, it's been a breathless 3 or 4 riders in a row there. Will have a bit of a sit in the hot seat by the look of things.
Bella's made a lot of progress this year as well. She's ramped it up at every race, and she's been looking really aggressive on the track this weekend.
You know more about it than anybody else. How tough is it managing these junior riders, their expectations of what they want to do and where they want to be versus the reality of how tough a sport this is?
Yeah, I think the tough thing is every rider's different. They all have different emotions going on race day. Some are too confident, some need confidence, and just learning each one and giving them the info they need and not overwhelming them.
7.3 seconds back at the second split for Birchall.
Bella's got some help on track here. Her stepfather, Darren Henderson, former World Cup racer from New Zealand himself, he's out here this weekend. I saw him on course, so that's got to be helpful for a young rider to have a mentor like that.
Yeah, we're seeing a few of those fast dads creeping in as well. Crawford Carrick-Anderson from the UK is here with Emily Carrick-Anderson this weekend, and guys that you get the feeling might just be able to get on a bike and still do the job of work themselves. Big pull that from Birchall, 7.464 back at the third split, 54 kilometres an hour through there. So definitely riding really well, Bella Birchall. Yeah,
and the time maybe a few seconds back, but the position's still good. I think Aletha just had a really good run.
Top 3 covered by 13.1 seconds so far. So Birchall still in with a good chance here, getting up on the podium.
Yeah, I think that second generation of downhill riders, it's like raising the level a lot. I know my dad used to race Norbas back in the day and got my brother and I into it. So when you see families being a part of it and passing that on, it just raises the level of the whole sport.
It's such a specific sport as well, downhill, isn't it? It really gets its hooks into you and gets under your skin.
For sure.
Birchall really nicely through there. That looked good to me, Nico.
Yeah, she looks solid. Maybe that last turn could have carried a little more speed, but the last 2 splits, she's been pretty even if you look at the times with Aletha. So she's maintained the gap over sectors 2 through 5.
Bella Birchall heads into the open then, off that huge drop. Round the big, fast left-hander that stood the test of time. We're going to see some heroics in that corner today. You can put your mortgage on it. Bella Birchall down the line and goes third fastest, 8.1 seconds. Back off the fastest time off Alifa Osgaard so far then. So Canyon Collective holding on to the hot seat. Kate Hastings up next. Another fast family, I guess you say, the Hastings.
Yeah. It's been cool to see her out practicing with her sister. You know, a lot of the B practices on the first day, they're together, so they can scope lines, they can work with each other. It's helpful to have a rider like that wants to show you and help you. So as her sister not directly racing against her, there's going to be a lot of support going both ways.
2.4 seconds now, 2.8, excuse me, at the second split for Hastings. So she's in amongst it here. The top two, the Americans, Oscar and Melton, separated by just 7.8 currently. So this would split them if she can keep it going. There's a lot of Val di Sole in front of her, and you can see that pivot just moving around across those routes. But Hastings doing a really good job so far. There's the top five: Oscar, Melton, Birchall, Neff, and Husselbosch.
She looks really composed on the bike. I'm really impressed what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, so much upper body strength required here in Val di Sole. Hands, arms, everything getting absolutely punished.
It's such a tough track. There's huge compressions, but then a lot of small, sharp ones as well, so you can't set your bike up too soft.
She's back here, 1.5 seconds, so Hastings has found time between 2 and 3. This is looking good. If she can keep this rate going, she might challenge for the hot seat. One to go after her, Rosa Zerl, waits at the top. And it is one of those tracks, Nico, isn't it? It does bring out standout performances, like we said, from Eliana Husselbosch last year. And it's one of those places that really starts to make those reputations.
I think this is one where we often see bigger margins. Like Leogang last race, it was pretty tight. The track was straightforward. There wasn't a lot to separate the best. Here, this is pushing the best to the limit. So there's going to be more time out there in between the riders.
Hastings 1.8 back at split 4. So she's lost 0.3 of a second, but making good sense of it so far. And it's a very different atmosphere, this race, isn't it? I think we'll talk about this a bit today, that the atmosphere in the pits is different at this race. It is a scary place.
I mean, if you ask any of the riders, they'll probably unanimously say this is the hardest track of the season.
Hastings then takes flight, has absolutely destroyed the wood section, so just a couple of turns and a couple of jumps between her and the finish line. Is this going to be enough for Kate Hastings with one rider left at the top? Young New Zealander heads to the line and goes second fastest, 2.1 seconds back for Hastings. Great run though, Nico.
Yeah, she'll be happy with that on the podium today. She, just was making up time, and then a few mistakes maybe in that final minute of the race.
Here we go though. Rosa Zerl for Cube Factory Racing then, the fastest qualifier from yesterday. She's got the green jersey of the overall points leader. Zerl has been super impressive this season. Yeah,
she's been really impressive with how precise she is. I think a lot of the girls have been aggressive, but she's been precise with that aggression, which is exciting to see.
Zerl won the last round in Leogang, her home race, and she's 0.06 of a second faster here at Sector 2, Split 2, excuse me. So Zerl,
there's nothing in it here.
Into the green.
I think they might as well have started there at Sector 2.
Yeah, Cube Factory Racing, real energy around this squad. Downhill and cross country all pitting together, and got their first elite level World Cup win last time out of Andre Sink in the elite men's cross country Olympic race. So
yeah, and she's got Matt Simmons, former World Cup racer himself. He's had a few podiums. He's their line coach, so he's out on the track helping her out, telling her which lines to take, which is really important on a track like this one. And then walking the track with her after practice. I saw them out last night. So all that little things go into this run. Yeah,
Matt Simmons, serious racer in his day, of course. Maribel springs to mind, notably 0.9 of a second at split 3 then for Zerl into the green.
Interesting, she went really wide there, missed the main line, but missed a lot of those holes. We saw another girl crash earlier.
Do you think that's going to be part of the tactics of survival here?
Depending on the style. I mean, maybe for the junior women, like finding a smoother line can pay off. So let's see what the time says.
Rosa Zerl, the Austrian, you can see just plowing her way through that dust here in Val di Sole, Trentino. What is split 4 going to tell us? Really nice through there. Gets the bike committed nice and early into the corner. There is that split. 1.3 seconds faster now. So Zerl has found over half a second.
I think just the lack of mistakes. I mean, on the track like this, everybody's pushing. They're going to make mistakes, and she's been really tidy.
Rosa Zero, is she going to make it back-to-back wins in the junior women's category? Val di Sole is not done with her yet, but she's making really, really good progress here. The young Austrian out into the open, off the Red Bull drop. Zero just battling the whole thing steady, manages to do so as this right-hander, which will deliver her down towards the finish arena. Here comes Rosa Zero. Is this going to be the winning time in the junior women's race here in Val di Sole Trentino? Zero crosses the line and goes fastest by 0.6 of a second. Win number 2 on the bounce for Rosa Zero and Cube Factory Racing. What a run, Nico Mullally.
Yeah, that was awesome. Didn't see any mistakes. She was really precise on the bike, and some interesting line choice too. You see there Matt Simmons congratulating her. He's got a hand to play in this, but really competitive racing. You see how tight these times are as well between the first two. Good race today.
Yeah, and tell you what as well, handling that pressure of being up there by yourself. Last qualifier at the top of the hill. And here we go. Really, really composed, isn't she? Stays really central on the bike.
Yeah, she is. She almost makes it look easy. Like, you can't tell how fast she's going because her tires aren't breaking loose. She's not getting out of shape. But I can tell you she's going fast.
Trust us, she is going fast and taking a lot of risks up there in the dust as well. Really, really confident riding on one of the most daunting tracks, if not the most daunting track of the year. You said it, this has to be the hardest of the year for
it is. I mean, you can see how many roots there are here and deep dust in between them. They're so sharp when you hit them. There's thousands and thousands of them. So it's a physical track. It's a longer track by today's standards, and it drops a lot of elevation.
Yeah, 4:15.6, the winning time of Rosa Zero. We'll see how that stacks up against our elite riders later in the afternoon. Sorry to say as well that Anna Newkirk won't be amongst them. One of your riders, Nico, what's happened to her?
Yeah, Anna had a crash in the first practice session and broke a bone in her hand. So she'll be out for the next 2 races, but back soon.
0.6 of a second then. Zero beats Osgard. Hastings in third, 2.7 off the winning time of the Cube Factory Racing rider. Melton's in 4th, Birchall 5th, Husselbosch back in 7th. Well, let's hear from Cube Factory Racing's Rosa Zero. She's down at the finish now.
Rosa, huge congratulations. 2 on the bounce now for you. That was practically perfect out there. And we've had mixed reviews on this Black Snake. Talk us through that one.
Oh yeah, it was definitely hard to race run. Like my hands are dead. But yeah, it was actually pretty good. And I just wanted to repeat what I did yesterday and worked out well.
So this week, your preparation has all gone well, has it?
Yeah, definitely. I had good runs and yeah, I was just happy on the bike.
You're working with the line coach, Matt Simmons. Talk us through the influence he's having.
Yeah, it's definitely a big help. He has the good lines. And yeah, it's good to have him here.
And how tough is it to be up there on your own, waiting for everyone to go before you? Is it nerve-wracking up there?
Yeah, I mean, today I went not that early to the start, so I was a bit on my own, and then so it was okay, but the gang I went so early, and then I was like really nervous, but here I was not really nervous actually.
Well, it's brilliant to speak to you. Well done today.
Thank you.
Rosa Zero then, enjoying herself out there. Why not? Win number 2 in a row.
Yeah, it's got to feel good to get that with the leader's jersey on. Cement yourself at the top.
And on a track like this, it does matter that bit more, doesn't it? Here's the sector time. Zero was fastest in sector 2 and 4. Osgard, good card though. Sector 1, sector 5 going her way. 3rd sector to Kate Hastings. Perfect run would have been a 4:13.3. So Zero Pretty close to it.
Quite tight times for how difficult the track is, I'll say.
Yeah, good race that. Junior Women's providing plenty of entertainment in 2025. Well, Canyon Collectives, Alifa Osgaard is down there with Ashley now.
Aletha, a brilliant result, but you just missed out again on that top spot. Is that frustrating for you?
I think it's frustrating for any racer, but at the same time, it's racing. Not everyone can win, so I'll take it. I'm learning, and that's all that matters.
What was it like out there, the conditions? Talk us through it.
It was loose. Like, you come into each section and you don't know how it's going to be, kind of be on your toes the whole time, because each section can change and you have to kind of go with the flow of it, so it's sketchy.
How much is there a sense of relief when you get to that finish line?
It's the most relieving. Like, you're just like, because you're on edge the whole way, and then when you get to the right past that jump, you're like, okay, I made it.
And you've still got a smile on your face. You had some big hugs with your team. What did they have to say?
They were really stoked. I had a huge crash yesterday, so I was a little worried this morning, but taped her up and she's great.
How tough is it when you've had a crash then to get back on the bike and go again?
It was kind of scary because it was really close to the finish line, like right up there. So it was like when I got down to it and you're tired and you're like, oh, okay, just ride it good, ride it well.
Well, well done today. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Osgaard second today. Just looking at the times from yesterday's qualifying session, Zero's fastest quali time was a 4:23.3. She just clocked a 4:15.6 in her race run, so
Taking a lot of time off it, for sure.
yeah, pretty impressive stuff. Monica Hrasnik was a 4:15.1 yesterday in elite women's. Rosa Zero now leads the way by 55 points in the junior women's overall standings. Let's hear though from Kate Hastings. She's down there now.
Kate, congratulations. It's only your second ever World Cup race, and here you are on the podium. How thrilled are you?
I'm so stoked. Like, I can't believe it, really. I'm just so happy with my riding, and yeah, it's crazy, really.
Do you feel like you're living your dream just competing at the World Cup right now?
Yep, definitely.
I imagine it's taken so much hard work just to get here. So is there a sense of nerves every time you're at the top, waiting to go down?
Definitely, my heart's like racing, and I'm like, just breathe and you'll be okay.
What's been your favourite part, do you think, so far?
I don't know, I don't know.
All of it. Yeah. The atmosphere, the adrenaline, and just talk us through that run as well, because it's not easy out there.
No, it's definitely not easy. The holes are massive up there. It's like a massive dust bowl. But it wasn't a super clean run, but I kept it upright, so I was super happy I could do that and get on a podium.
I was going to say, you're being very modest, but well done.
Thank you so much.